Ladies and gentlemen, the Terra Luna Classic proposals to bring back the Binance burns is finally here. It's 3 proposals. You know, they're all optional proposals, so we're gonna be touching base on them in all of their fruition. But if you enjoy the content, like, subscribe, support the algorithm, and let's get right into it. So here's the deal. Okay, it's 3 proposals. 11, 360, 11, 359, 11, 358. Let's go through all of them. Let's go through them slowly here, because this is very important. I mean, if you want to get the Binance birds back, you know, this is Binance 2 requests. The first one here is the walled exemption on the on-chain tax. Now this has to do with that 0.2% tax that was going to that burn pump. Well, Binance has requested that the internal movement between Binance-owned wallets be exempt from the burn tax. A list of Binance-owned wallets have been provided to the community via the above announcement. It was confirmed with Binance that movement to and from Binance wallets will still be taxed. This means deposits and withdrawals are not exempt, but rather only the internal movements between wallets will be exempt for their internal security purposes. This first governance proposal is seeking consensus around this request. From Binance now, we voted yes, honor our validator with this one. I personally think that, you know, Binance is giving us millions of dollars in burns and all these different, just charity work. At this point, it feels like Binance is just supporting the hack out of the Terra Luna Classic community. So, this is an obvious yes for me. And then separate the burn wall exempt from senior ridge tax. We also voted yes because we don't think that any sort of remitting should be going to Binance wallets. We think that this makes sense, and while Senior Ridge has been turned off, there's no guarantee that it cannot be changed in the future. Thus, Binance has requested that a separate burn wallet be created where any Lunc manually sent to this burn wallet be excluded from the Senior Ridge remit calculation. So it seems like they're making a brand new burn wallet here, and any Lunc sent to this wallet is burnt and stays burnt. The second burn wallet will be publicized and could be used by anyone in the community for this purpose. So we're gonna get a new burn address. It's going to allow us to burn more Luna Classic than we were able to before. Before it was a lot of it was going into like Senior Ridge and all this weird remitting stuff. So I think we all voted to get that out. So it's good to see that. And the last one is the one that was a little interesting. It was a burn tech split to the community pool as the third and final optional feature we are seeking consensus upon in the next release. Previously, the community utilized the Scenery Ridge reward weight parameter to remit a portion of the burn supply. Pretty much it was confusing to people. They didn't really understand what was going on. And now it's gonna be super simple. 10% goes to the community pool, 90% goes to the burn, and this is through. You know what parameter change, because guess what? If we don't have money on the community pool, this chain is not going to have any development. That's just as simple as it goes. So we're kind of forced to go through with this. Or the other solution is just minting more tokens. But I'm guessing nobody wants to mint more tokens. So we're probably gonna have to do this burn tax. But I agree with this, right? I think this is something that needs to happen. I don't want to see more Luna Classic minted. I think we need to burn the supply, not create more Terra Luna Classic. Now, with this being said, these are the governance proposals, and we have a couple dots from Matt's Market and Zeradar from the Layer 1 task force on Luna Classic. So he's talking about, oh, moving forward, I'm gonna be spending a lot of time and effort going toward the repeg of Ustc and then Tobias. You're talking about the fact that start by redirecting the burn tax towards Ustc. That will be a lot more efficient than burning Lunc, since the supply is smaller and once it becomes inadequate, the burning of Lunc will enter hyper mode. If demand for USDC triggers people to swap Lunc and sell Ustc, that's interesting though. You know, I guess like if we're thinking about this literally, right? Like if we go to CoinMarketCap or something like that, and then we just go ahead and search up a Ustc. The market cap actually isn't the biggest, it's $300 million. Lunc market cap is around $1 billion, and so it's way easier to actually burn a Ustc than it is to burn Lunc. But at the same time, I personally feel like it wouldn't have the biggest impact in the world in terms of getting the job done. But it is a really interesting idea. I mean, but you'd have no burns it. It's so weird because you have this moral dilemma where like you stop burning Lunc, but then you start burning Ustc, and then if you burn off Ustc, then people are gonna start buying it up. And then we have Repeg, and I personally think Repegs are big for Lunc, and that burnt most of the Lunc supply. You know, back in the day, Lunc definitely needs USTC in some way, so I wouldn't be the most opposed for something like this, but I definitely think that USTC needs to have more eyes on it. So with this being said, our Lunc validator vote yes. On the Binance proposals, we've had a couple thoughts from other people and not being in support of it, which I think is fair because I think we should talk about why they're not in support of this. And the main reason is that if you do it for Binance, well, what if KuCoin wants to add 3 KuCoin addresses to this list, and this other guy wants to add an address that wants to get whitelisted, and this other guy wants to get whitelisted some? You know, he's kind of going through the straw man's argument of like, if you do one thing, then pretty much anything is free to go, which I think is a fair argument. But I think in terms of Binance, it's a bit of an isolated issue because Binance has done a ridiculous amount for this chain, and I don't think any of the other centralized exchanges are doing it. And so, next we have the Terra pre-sale, which is the final Terra pre-sale for the Terra Port Finance. This is a Lunc utility. They've raised millions of dollars at this point, and this is pretty much the last thing that they're gonna do until the launch of the actual DEX Plus, which I think is gonna be pretty cool. So Terra Port is an autonomous DeFi platform using smart contracts on the Terra Classic blockchain. So it's pretty much going to be burning Terra and burning Lunc per transaction on their exchange. As you may or may not know, Astroport and Terra Swap, which are the main indexes on Terra Luna Classic suck. They're terrible. So we're raising money to make a DEX Plus. It's actually going to be maintained. And that's the entire idea behind Terra. It's going to be governance on this deck that's going to be, you know, heavily maintained, and it should be exciting to see what ends up happening there. So, personally, I think that the move toward UCC, it's good. I mean, I like it because Binance has been having those issues with Paxos. BUSD has been really tough lately because of the fact that the SEC has issued they're suing Paxos, which is not good. Paxos runs BUSD, its stable coin. And now they're also kind of going after USDC, so not good news there either. Breaking US Securities and Exchange Commission. SEC has now ordered Circle to stop sale of allegedly unregistered securities, USDC. My thinking here is the SEC, they can go after USDC and they can go after BUSD, but they can't go after USTC. Check that out, ain't that cool? So I'm thinking, USDC is probably the next frontier for crypto stablecoin. We have to find a way to repeg this thing to $1. Right now we're at 3 cents. We're a far cry from $1 obviously, but wholesomely I think it's possible to make this a reality. And if we can do that, we could essentially recover all of the Terra Luna Classic investors. I mean, just as simple as that. All hope will be restored if we can somehow get Terra Classic back to $1. But as always, stay safe, and until the next time.